Welcome to Weight Loss and Wellness for Real, the podcast where people like you get the practical solutions and support you need to permanently lose the physical and mental weight so you can feel better and live the life you really want to live in the body and mind you really want to be living in. If you're looking to overcome your stress eating, overeating, binging behaviors, and move to a place of food and body freedom, as well as find more meaning and more moments of joy in life, you are in the right place. Hey everyone, welcome back to Weight Loss and Wellness for Real. Thanks for tuning in and listening today. I'm Heather, and today we are talking about something that I think a lot of people really need. And this is a way to eat healthy without spending hours in the kitchen prepping and cooking. Over the years of helping people to lose weight, sustain their weight loss, really live in that food freedom, that body freedom. So often, what I hear is that there's not time to do the meal prep or the cooking that can really help us maintain our bodies where we want them to be, really maintain those healthy lifestyle habits. And I really get that. I'm actually in a time of life where I have a little bit more time on my hands. But I do remember, when I was raising my daughter and I was a single mom, it was, I was working full time. I run my own business. It was really hard to find the time, not just that, to find the energy to think about the prepping and the cooking and the decisions that I needed to make to really try to maintain the health goals that I had while I was, really trying to find that food and body freedom for myself. And so I hear this from clients all the time, really just not having the capacity to put all that decision making and that time and energy into the food prepping, into the cooking. Sometimes, it can really feel like this part-time job in the kitchen. So if you've ever felt that way, this episode is for you. I'm going to do a series the next few episodes on just some really practical strategies and ways that I coach my clients on how to lose the weight quicker and or sustain the weight that you're at. We often in this podcast go into the real deep underlying issues that come up for us, why we self-sabotage, the shame cycle, things like that. And those things are so important. But the other side of the coin are also these very practical strategies that we need to implement. And I haven't done any of these in quite a while. So I'm going to do a few of these just to see if they're resonating with you out there, if maybe this is a little bit more of what you need in order to start to implement some real changes into your life. So this is going to be the first one, the no prep, no cook meal plan. And it really is, I'm hoping to just give you the easiest, simplest possible way to show you there doesn't need to be a lot of time or a lot of energy or a lot of capacity to eat healthy, to lose the weight quicker, to get to where you want to be. It just doesn't have to be that hard. So I'm going to show you through this episode how to eat really well with almost zero prep at all. And to make this even easier, I did create a no prep, no cook meal plan for healthy eating PDF. And it really is just a guide to this more effortless, healthy eating. And it gives you the PDF, if you decide to use it, gives you a really simple, flexible approach to meal prep and to no cooking so that you always have nourishing meals ready to go so you can hit the goals you're really wanting to hit. So things that I have in that PDF are, it's a very step-by-step system for prepping meals with literally zero cooking required. I have lists and lists of their done for you food combinations. These combinations are evidence-based to keep you very full and satisfied because we know if we can create meals with specific macros, you're going to feel more full, more satisfied. And when you eat a meal like that with this food combination, you are less likely to have urges to overeat. You are less likely to binge throughout the day. So I did a whole list of these done for you food combinations that are evidence-based that can keep you full and satisfied. There is a weekly you can fill it out on your own. You can print a bunch out. It's a fillable weekly meal planning template so that you can just make it very organized and stress-free. I also included a grocery list with everything on there you might possibly need for these meal combinations. And then also just some time saving tips to really simplify your routine if you decide to try this out. I have lists of meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. And I even, for some of the grocery list stuff, I did include specific brands of food to choose from for healthier options because I know a lot of you maybe don't read labels or don't want to read labels. So I really tried to make this take as much decision making out of this for you that I could. So, for an example, one of the carbohydrates I have on there are things like healthier wraps. And so, I tell you to look for brands like Ezekiel Sprouted Grain or Egg Life Egg Wraps. Like, I give you the exact brands to look for. And often I listed where in the grocery store they should be located. So, just really trying to help you out, trying to really make it easy for you. So if you listen to this episode and you're like, I really want to try this out, then I would highly recommend you go grab the PDF. It's about, I believe it landed right around $11, and you can go to heatherheynen.com/store to get it. And you cannot go to my website and find it. It is only for those of you listening to this episode. So it's hidden. So the only way you can get it is to type in heatherheynen.com/store, and it'll pop up right there and it'll be there for you. I also put the link in the top of in the episode description. Underneath the episode description, it's there at the top. Okay, let's get into it. First of all, why do we overcomplicate healthy eating? Let's talk about why do we make healthy eating so much harder than it has to be? Somewhere along the way, many of us got the idea that if we want to eat well, if we want to lose weight, if we want to eat healthy, we have to be chopping, dicing, and roasting everything from scratch, right? Like really making these elaborate meals that we're supposed to be doing these things that we often see on social media. And then also, this idea of meal prepping. I see all these pictures of perfectly portioned meals, all lined up in glass containers. And I've even posted some of these on my Peak Protein site because sometimes I do have time to do those things. But for many of us, and for most of you, we don't always have the time, energy, or the capacity to do these things, right? But the truth is, you do not have to spend hours in the kitchen to eat well, to eat healthy. And if your goal is to lose weight quickly, you just need to know what to buy and how to put it together in a way that works for you and your body. All right. So, how to eat healthy with as little prep as possible. So, the idea here, one of the first ideas is to really focus on what you're going to buy at the grocery store. So, you want to buy smart and not complicated. The secret to no prep eating is letting the grocery store do the work for you. So, here are your new best friends: pre chopped veggies. These are worth every penny. So I know they're more expensive than regular vegetables, but these actually save me money. And this is how I would often buy a bunch of vegetables and telling myself I'm going to do all the chopping, I'm going to do everything I need to do to eat them or put them into my meals or whatever it is. And inevitably, I would come home from work or a long day. I have zero capacity, zero energy, even if I have the time to do this. And I just wouldn't do it. And I'd end up throwing out so many vegetables or fruits that have gone bad. So I learned paying just a little bit more for the pre-chopped veggies, it's totally worth it and actually saved me money. All right, another thing to look for: frozen everything, frozen veggies, frozen fruit, frozen quinoa. These are things that you can just heat up and then eat. Another big one from the grocery store: rotisserie chicken. Almost all grocery stores sell them these days. A beautiful way to get really tasty protein into your meals. It's an already cooked chicken. Another great one at the grocery store: bagged salads and bagged slaws. So no chopping, no washing. These are things we can just open up and dump into a bowl. Microwavable grains. So I mentioned frozen quinoa, but you can also get pouches of quinoa where the, excuse me, rice is located, things like that. So microwavable grains and pouches, things like quinoa, lentils, You just pop them in the microwave and they're done. And then other ideas, not everybody's into this, but these are things that absolutely can work. Things like canned beans, pouch tuna, pouch salmon. This is instant protein. So if you take it, nothing else from this episode, remember this: healthy eating starts at the grocery store. If you do not buy the good stuff, you can't eat the good stuff. So this is where you really have to be educated in what to buy at the grocery store. Make that grocery store trip super simple and super easy. All right, number two, big mindset shift here. And this is honestly, I do sometimes cook and bake, and you can see some of that stuff on my social media stuff. But especially in this last year, I have just not been into it, not at all. So I really call myself, I do not call myself a cook. I call myself an assembler. And so this is the assemble, don't cook method. Here's where it gets even easier. We are not cooking, we are assembling. Think of your meals like putting together a puzzle, except way easier with fewer missing pieces. So here are some zero prep meal ideas that take 5 minutes or less. One idea would be things like power bowls. So these are the pre-cooked grains, quinoa that I was talking about. Plus you throw in some rotisserie chicken. Plus you throw in some bagged slaw. Plus you add a healthier dressing. And this is in the PDF, like how to find healthier dressings, lower calorie dressings, that sort of thing. But that would be a power bowl. It's done. You could do things like a snack plate dinner. So for dinner, you're having things like your favorite cheeses, a few nuts, some pre-sliced turkey from the deli, some healthy crackers, little hummus, some baby carrots. That's an idea. Also, breakfast for dinner, some Greek yogurt, plus some flaxseed or some chia seeds, some frozen berries, plus maybe a little allulose on top for sweetness. These sort of things that can just make eating healthy really, really easy. Third idea, this is the 2-minute rule. You want to make it easier than takeout. The reason most of us struggle with healthy eating is because takeout is so much easier, right? It's easier to make decisions about. It's easier to just ask DoorDash to bring it to us. We need to make healthy food easier than ordering DoorDash. So if making a meal is going to take longer than 2 minutes, really ask yourself, how can I simplify this? Maybe it's store-bought hummus instead of homemade. Maybe it's pre-cooked grilled chicken instead of cooking it yourself. The goal is not perfection here. It's making the healthier choice the easy choice. All right, I want to go through a couple of things of what not to do, because these are really common mistakes people make when they're trying to eat healthy without the prep. And that's they buy all the healthy food, right? And never end up eating it. So again, we've done this. We stock up on the veggies and then they wilt in the fridge. If you know you're probably not going to engage with this food, then do not buy it, right? Really get real with yourself on what's going to happen here. Number two, mistake, thinking every meal needs to be Instagram worthy. Your food does not need to be pretty. Okay. We don't need to do a photo shoot with it. It just needs to be easy and satisfying. Nobody cares if your salad is ugly. You're not going to care. You're just going to eat it. By the way, those pictures on Instagram with food, I mean, those are taking a long time to set up and produce and light and move this little, parsley piece here and this one here to make it look that way. So there's no need to do that in real life. Number three, overcomplicating it. If a meal has more than 5 steps or more than 5 ingredients, it's probably too much effort. So keep it really, really, really simple. And then number four, not having a backup plan. This one, I really think, I hope all of you take into account. Always have at least one meal you can make in 2 minutes. So whether it's eggs and toast, a smoothie, a snack plate, you really need just an emergency option in your back pocket that you can easily access and put together. All right, so here's your challenge for the week. Pick one thing from what we've talked about and try it out. Maybe you buy a rotisserie chicken and make meals from it all week. Maybe you stock up on microwavable grains and pre-chopped veggies. Maybe you just commit to assembling meals instead of cooking them. Whatever it is, just pick one thing. Don't try to overhaul everything at once. Just make one small change that makes healthy eating easier for you. And I have another one that might be a great one to try. Use this idea for maybe just your breakfast, or maybe just your breakfast and lunches and snacks, and then still cook your dinner or still make a plan for dinner or whatever it is. But at least take away the decision making for breakfast, lunch, and snacks, and use this method for those meals or even one meal a day to just really simplify and take away some of that decision fatigue that we talked about in a couple episodes behind us here. Okay, so bottom line, eating well, eating healthy to lose weight or to just feel your best does not have to mean spending hours in the kitchen. It is all about smart grocery shopping. It's about the assemble, don't cook mindset. It's about the 2-minute rule. If it's harder than takeout, simplify it. And it's about avoiding those common mistakes. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't forget a backup plan. So think about what's your one thing for the week. I'd love to hear what you're trying. You can tag me on Instagram, send me a message, let me know how it's going. And if you found this episode helpful, share it with a friend who maybe needs a little less stress around food. And again, like I talked about at the beginning, if you want some help with this to make the idea really simple and easy, you can grab that PDF guide at heatherheynen.com/store. And again, I also put a link in the episode description below. That's all for today. If you want to make sure you get the whole series that I'm going to do here on practical strategies made simple for quicker weight loss, subscribe to the show, Weight Loss and Wellness for Real, from wherever you're listening, and make sure you don't miss the next episodes in this series. Okay, go enjoy some simple, healthy, no prep, no cook meals, and we will talk soon. The information in this podcast is intended to provide a broad understanding and knowledge of healthcare topics. This information is for educational purposes only and should not be considered complete and should not be used in place of advice from your physician or healthcare provider. We recommend you consult your physician or healthcare professional before beginning or altering your personal exercise, diet, or supplementation program. Did you know you can find a lot more help from me on my website? Go to heatherheynen.com. Heynen is spelled Heynen, and there you will find links to my online courses, how I work with clients one-on-one, as well as online with my coaching and counseling services that I offer.